In the first 2 years, there was a Tesla that drove 1 million kilometers. It took a total of 3 batteries. That's the truth. So from my point of view, solving the battery life problem is urgent. Because you don't solve it today, you're going to pay the price in 8 years. It's a simple thing. We'll definitely be better today. I'm talking about strengthening industry cooperation together. Solve the problem of battery life, why this is important today. In fact, 2024 is a very meaningful year. If we look back 8 years, on April 29th, 2015, 4 ministries have won about 2016 to 2020 the application of new energy vehicles for the promotion of a Notice of Financial Support policy. This is the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Science and Technology, the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, and the National Development and Reform Commission, together with this notice. This thing is very important. This matter in itself is very important, but it is not simply to subsidize these things among them. For passenger cars, power batteries. A clear technical standard for self-insurance is proposed. This technical standard is what we are today in the industry. In the passage of a standard, some people may be a little taller than him, slightly higher in terms of mileage, but in general it is done according to this framework. It is the self-insurance standard of 8 years or 120,000 kilometers. Then this self-protection criterion. In fact, for the discouragement of private users of electric vehicles, I say, to emphasize private car buyers. It is very important to reassure them of their concerns. Everyone knows about the early electric cars. It all starts with operating a vehicle. Operating vehicles have subsidies. There are many mountain burials. It went up from there. But buying a car privately, it is not the same. It takes into account different starting points. If you don't have a good standard of self-protection, it is not afraid to buy it. It's too expensive to change a battery. Then it is also because there is such a standard of self-protection. It has given a reassurance to many individual car buyers. So from 2016 onwards, the number of private purchases of new energy vehicles in China, it is gradually rising year by year. Now, buyers of new energy vehicles in China, there are only a few operating vehicles left. The vast majority of cars are privately purchased, all are for private use. This number is all. The amount of the new deal of the year. This is the Chinese market, because there are still some exports, more than 9 million units. And this is not exactly the same thing. If we just look at it, in the last 8 years, we have 8 years of self-insured new energy vehicles. Now it's more than 19.4 million. Everyone should be very happy to see it. But if we, the 2 pictures below, may be felt by you, how can you already let it go before? But if we look from this year, from these cars 8 years ago, the self-insurance will expire. That is, those cars produced in 2016 by 2025, all these cars will have 8 years of self-insurance expired. There may be some may already be phased out or retired. It will just be an approximate number. But there have been cars scrapped that we don't care about. That is, from now to the next 8 years. How many battery blocks you produced in the past 8 years, there will be many cars whose power battery self-insurance will expire in the next 8 years. This is also a kind of translation. Okay, let's see that in the next 8 years, there will be more than 19.4 million batteries whose self-insurance will expire. This number doesn't seem like much, but let me multiply it by something else. Even if you have a plug-in hybrid with more than 30 kilowatt hours of battery, this large battery, because this plug-in hybrid, this more than 30 kilowatt hours, that'll cost 60,000 yuan, 50,000 yuan. And the after-sales service cost will be 80,000 yuan if it is more than 40 kilowatt hours of electricity. If it's pure electric, it will be even more expensive. This is the current number in terms of the after-sales service cost. And now most of them are given an 8-year warranty. Those that have gone beyond 100,000 kilometers are only 70% healthy. Once it passes 70%, it will drop sharply. There will be a safety issue. In fact, the user's experience is greatly affected. It's not like a fuel tank. The fuel tank will not drive short because of this problem. I think that we have worked very hard in the past few years. Our entire new energy vehicle colleagues have worked very hard. We have solved the battery safety issue. In fact, it will drop dramatically. There are issues with security. In fact, the user experience is greatly affected. That's not like a gas tank. The fuel tank will not open too short because of this problem. This thing is, to this day, I feel like we've been in the last few years. Our entire NEV counterparts are working very hard. We fixed the safety issue with the battery. We solved the problem of battery life. Now the batteries that run more than 1,000 kilometers are out. We solved the problem of charging efficiency. We also solved the cost problem very well. We've also solved this convenience problem of charging and swapping. Solved a lot of problems, but we're in this thing, in the battery life thing. Our standards have not been raised any further. If you don't improve it anymore, it will cause some problems in the future. If that's 20 million cars smaller, Each car costs 60,000 yuan to solve. Follow up on these questions. That's more than 1 trillion. Originally, we were counting on the battery to be utilized at this T-level, energy storage. Of course, now we all know that energy storage batteries don't need this. This is not the most suitable either. It can only be recycled, it is a thing. Oil trucks, it can rely on the maintenance of the engine, and the transmission tank rely on maintenance to continue its life. But the power battery is such a high value of an electrochemical one, such a product, such a component. I hadn't been in this situation before China, because it accounts for 60% of the world's. So we were the first to face this problem. It's a thing. So from my point of view, solving the battery life problem is urgent, because you don't solve it today, you're going to pay the price in 8 years. It's a simple thing, because I am a science of sociology. I don't care about an aging population. Therefore, the aging of power batteries is a reason. It is a truth in itself. We all know the lifespan of this battery. There is a cycle life and there is a calendar life. There was one that came first. There is a problem with this. Then why is it problematic now? Because of a lot of our designs. Calendar life, it is more than the car user, actually. The age of the car used, the actual age of this car is to be low. This is a common way to do it. There is also this driving range of the whole vehicle. It also is your cycle. Life is also low. One of the two has arrived. This one has to be changed. In the first 2 years, there was a Tesla that drove 1 million kilometers. It took a total of 3 batteries. That's the truth. So there is nothing difficult to understand about this. Then how to solve this problem? We have actually been researching it for the past few years. Because we will. Future, this battery is rechargeable, replaceable, and upgradable. And we have it provided. Battery rental is such a scheme. At the time of August 20, it was 2. With the support of this innovation, then, we are very concerned about this lifespan, just how many years you're going to use it. You have a direct impact on my business model. It's the same as in the field of solar energy. If you are 7 years, in the early days, there was only 7 years without a business model. You have had a business model for 25 years. It's as simple as that. So we've always thought of 2 sides. This increase in research and development should be improved. There is also the operational aspect. There is also a need to be innovative. What is the equivalent of that? A person has to live a long life. Your own genes need to be good, congenitally good follow-up exercises. It is also necessary to maintain life and death. It's as simple as that. Both of these actually make sense. We're certainly in R&D, we have the entire automotive industry, Chinese automakers inside. This should be written, it should not include BYD, the largest battery R&D lab. We have a laboratory of more than 2,000 square meters. We have more than 1,000 patents. 10% of that is related to battery life. We have actually studied this very deeply. And we have been, in the past few years, built a battery-based intelligent cloud operation system for the material level, the cell level, the battery pack level, whole vehicle. And then we all put it all together. Go to the cloud to form a big cloud, and then use our battery swapping system as an intervention and a renewed intervention system. The earliest, we used this system for security. Now we put it on battery health. Probably the improvement in battery life is very large. There is such a system. Life can have a lot of initiatives, take such measures to extend its lifespan. So what about us? 2 days ago, we had a strategic communication session for long-life batteries. We've made it very clear, technology and operational goals for future long-life batteries. That's 15 years. 15 years is basically a reasonable cycle of use of the car. Mileage hassle-free. Mileage worry-free means don't care about mileage anymore. This future will do this great balance through battery swapping. In fact, there is no need to care about mileage anymore. Mileage is a problem that can be solved. The time of the end of battery life health can also be greater than or equal to 85%. We also work with our battery manufacturing partners like Ningde, AVIC. This is already being done in an all-round way. In fact, technically this can be done. It's that we have to set this goal to define this thing. This makes sense for the benefit of the user benefits to our society as a whole. The long-term social benefits are also meaningful to our entire new energy vehicle long-term healthy development, including global competitiveness. It's all meaningful. So this we are too. Think it's not just us, it's an industry-wide thing. Like we opened up our battery swapping network last year, give to Chang'an to Geely. There are also Chery and Jack. We have a few more recently. This car company will also join. It's what we think is an industry-wide thing. 2 days ago, we also just completed 40 million battery swaps. Now, the maximum number of times a day is 100,000 times a day, more than 90,000 times. So this user also likes it very much, so it is also hoped that we will try some such innovations in the future. It can give more inspiration to the industry. Together, hand in hand, together. Congratulations again to the 10th anniversary of the Committee of 100. We will definitely be better in the next 10 years.